Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you'd please go ahead and type the number 1 in that chat box to let me know that you can, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much. Nothing worse than talking to myself for the next little bit, huh? Morning, Brenda. No, I got lights. Maybe that's a little bit better. Pull the shades. Morning, Helen. Afternoon, Kevin. I had a great Thanksgiving. How was yours, Kevin? How was everybody's? You guys have a good Thanksgiving? We did well. Goods and bads. I wasn't crazy about some of the selections of food because we kind of threw things together last minute with my father-in-law still being ill. Or I should say being ill. No, it's not going to change. And the good thing is I didn't eat very much, so we were good, you know. But we had a great time together. There you go, Brenda. Awesome. I am home today, Helen. I have an appointment this afternoon that cuts a little close. So instead of cutting us short here today, I figured let me just do it from the house instead of heading into the office. Give Sean a break as well because he goes and run around crazy trying to get all this stuff done for everything. So excellent. Let's go ahead and jump in. As we do, go ahead and drop your trades in. How have you done today? Put them in, folks. Listen, I am here. I'm bearing my soul. Let me know how you've done. Share, and share alike, okay? Keep in mind as we go through, everything we look at today is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations, all right? So what do we got going on? Trading You coming up the 29th. That is today. That is being taught by me. I'm actually putting the manual together for this right now for this evening's training. Patterns in a Flash coming up on December 8th. So I guess Trading You tonight is the last open class, right? Mastermind is tomorrow night at the 30th. Looking forward to that. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook, covered calls. Back up. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook, all on schedule, right, for this week. Covered calls, uncovered, brand new training. I just got done talking with my team about it. There's some great things we're going to talk about in there. I shared the manual with them, and you know the comment, of course, came up of in an hour. It may take us a little longer, who knows? But go ahead and get yourself registered for that, folks. I've got 2 on the docket. Certainly the last ones I do, I think, for this year. I don't know if we're going to do it again next year or not. We'll really see, right? You want to take advantage of it. Are we making it available as a recording? Not really sure. Right, Power Option Plays, Covered Call, Explore, E-mini, all on schedule for this week. Right, and here's our follow us page. Please and thank you. Please do and thank you for do. Make sure you follow along with us. Sean, I just uploaded a couple of new videos in there for today. So we'll go ahead and check those out. All right, so what do we got here? Brenda crushed it again on the Qs. Fantastic. Oh, there it is. Covered calls, uncovered, guys. Make sure, listen, you can go right over to the members page, right? And in the banner section, it should be the first banner, but I don't think they got it into the first spot just yet. And you can register just by clicking on that banner. Amelia, can you drop in, or Clarice, whoever is running it, can you guys drop in the link to Covered Calls Uncovered? When you click on this banner, they did get it into the first slot. When you click on the banner, right, this is what you're going to see. This page right here. There we go. Clarice dropped it in for everybody. Appreciate that, Clarice. Excellent. So there's the setup page for it, guys. Go ahead and get yourself registered for it. It's free training. It's free. Free is my favorite number in the world, right? December 2nd at 8 o'clock, December 7th at 12 o'clock. I gave you one of each. So no matter what, you should have some time, hopefully, that you can find to attend that training. All right. Excellent. So let me see. Let's go back and look at your trades. Not a lot of going in here today, guys. I'm not seeing a whole lot of trades coming across. Ed pulled up $265 on YM. Ed, did you trade YM last night at all? Sunday night? It was a great, I mean, you just knew. You knew. No? Oh, goodness. It was just, I was bored yesterday. Last night a little bit. We had already set up our Christmas tree yesterday. We were getting ready for dinner. And I wanted to come in and check the markets. And I sat here for 6 o'clock and watched it start to take off and just figured we were going to rock. So I was able to pick some of this run on the YM up in here from that gap up, that gap and go. I didn't pick up a whole lot. I got 30, 40 points or something like that. So, but hey, I said it in the video in the training when I did on YouTube this morning. By the time Friday afternoon comes, I'm spent. I'm done. I'm tired of the market. Man, I've been at it all week long. But come Sunday night, I'm jonesing for the market to open again. So having futures open on Sunday nights is great for me anyway. How about that? Like I said, Brenda crushed it on the Qs. Ed had $265 on the YM. Alan said he's rocking it on Nvidia today. That was the ES. Yeah, that was the ES, Brenda, exactly. Same pattern on YM. Facebook, an entry, but hovering. Okay. Well, I did a bunch of trades today. I did some more video. I added to my SPY positions, BITO. I added to my SPY positions. I did another on Condor today. So I've been a busy boy on my trades this morning. So hopefully you guys have gotten some off that have some value to them, that are working for you. All right. So here are, many of you know Amelia. She's our head trader, right? And she runs a program called Trade Watch Alert. She absolutely crushes it in there every single day, every week, right? She does an amazing job. So here are trades from today that came out of what she's already sent out to everybody saying, look at these candidates today. So here's the SPY, and Amelia does 13 contracts on the SPY. That's a standard SPY trade every time she places this, right? So what did she do here? If we look at the time slots, 9:35 in the morning, she bought to open 13 SPY 466 puts, okay? She wound up closing out those 466 puts at 9:46 in the morning, right? So she bought them here. She bought them here. Let me grab a drawing tool. It's easier to, let's do this. She bought them here and closed them out here. All right. So she watched it break through her pivot. It tested. Boom, chaga-laga-laga. Failed. Right. She got out of that trade 11 minutes later. She got in at 305. She sold it at 342. So we're talking about 05, 15, 25, 35, 7, 37 cents. 10 contracts, $370. 13 contracts, 374, $500 ish, right in that ballpark in 11 minutes. 12% rate of return in 11 minutes. For some of you, now, did you need some money? Yeah, you needed 3,000. Let's see. One contract would be $300, 10 would be 3,000. So you needed just about $4,000, just shy of $4,000 to be able to make 500, 12%. Would you do it? In a heartbeat, baby. For many of you, with that $3,000, you ain't got to go to work today. For many of you, ain't got to go to work anymore if you're pulling in $500 a day. Amelia sends these out every single day. These hit the wire, right? Go, Amelia. There you go. There you go. So that was trade number one. Oh, let's clear that off. Okay, here we go. Bear call spread. So at 9:51 and 29 seconds, the red bar, Amelia did 3 contracts of GameStop. Jimmy, I love GameStop. 3 contracts of GameStop, 210, 212 half calls. Okay, on that trade. Did a bear call spread. She took in a credit of 75 cents. So in other words, she got paid 75 cents to put this trade on. Right. And she didn't do this right at 9:30 in 1 second when the market just opened up trying to catch that major volatility. She did this at almost 10 o'clock, 9:50 in the morning. She took in 75 cents. 1 minute later, almost to the second, 1 minute later, she gets out of the trade and pays back 20 cents of the 75 cents she just took in. So she pulled in 50 cents on a 250 spread. She's got a 34% rate of return on her trade, right? Fantastic. Great trade. Guys, I don't care the day. I don't care who you are. There are opportunities in the market every single day. You just have to learn to identify them and to take action. You know, I say it all the time. How many traders don't hit the enter button? I'm not asking you the question. I'm not asking you to raise your hand or anything, but how many traders just don't hit the enter button? They're not doing it, right? And if you're not hitting that button again and again and again, getting comfortable with the software, getting comfortable with what happens, getting comfortable standing at bat when a 90-mile-an-hour fastball comes at you. If you ain't never stood in front of one of those and that sucker comes your way, you are going to, well, let's just say it's going to make a difference in your life, okay? Especially if it gets a little bit too much on the inside, right? Because you don't know how to react to it. It's like, whoa, that was fast, right? The only way you get good at it is practicing, right? You're not practicing at 90 miles an hour, right? In your practice mode, you're practicing at 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. You're not getting fired upon as it's happening. I need you hitting enter over and over and over again. For those of you that follow along with Amelia, everything she sends out, everything, put the trade in as a paper trade every day. Every day, paper trade, non-funded trade. Forget the word paper. Non-funded trade. Do it every single day. Every day. That is the only way you will ever get really, really, really good at this. Right? I've been saying this to Sean, who's in here with us today, works in our office, that you got to hit the enter button. You got to hit the trade. You got to hit the trade every day now. Every day he's looking in on the market. He's got a 4-pack set up at his desk in the office, and he's in there every single day running it. We used to use his trade station when I would go into the office on Monday, and he's like, Rob, I can't trade when you're using my trade station. Would you mind activating yours? It was not a big deal. It was just that computer. You've got to call TradeStation to get that computer approved now for your ID. So we got that all done. So now he can keep his running during power hour, and he's still got it there. If he's got to take advantage of a trade or manage something, it's available, and it's not something that he's going to get in trouble with because he doesn't have it open, right? Yeah, chin music, right? Exactly, Ed. There you go, guys. I mean, great opportunity with Trade Watch alerts. You should be taking advantage of it. So trade all of them. If you're in power option plays, it's a lot maybe to trade every stock we look at, but pick a half a dozen stocks and everything that I call out, you put the trade in. The only way you're going to get good at this is this. Cover Call Explorer. Hit enter just over and over and over and over again, right? Covered calls is a strategy that you can ask 100 different people how you trade it, and you'll get 99 different answers. Someone once told me you get 101. Right? And that may be the case too, right? Because of how you manage the position. You won't know how to manage it for you until you actually pull the trigger and do it. That's going to be the key to it all. All right? Excellent. Stock market money machine. You know, I'm kind of talking on a topic without even really talking on a topic, but what does it mean, guys? Excuse me. I get a phone call from a guy that we do business with. They actually have me come on and do some training for them, for their customers, their students. And they call me up and say, hey, listen, I heard you talk about this thing you're doing with your truck, and help me understand exactly what that is. And I got some cash and I want to buy a vehicle, but do I put the money into the vehicle? Can I use it some other way? And we went and talked a little bit out back and forth of exactly what it is that he was doing and how he could do things differently. And if you look at, let me just see something here. All right. Let's say that you're going to put $30,000 down on a vehicle, right? But Rob, you know, I mean, that's an expensive vehicle. Not anymore, baby. Not anymore. Sean just bought something used. Nice big van, bright red, beautiful van. Beautiful, beautiful. They're not cheap anymore, right? What did they say? There was a 20% increase in new cars and a 40% increase in used in their cost. Go figure. So if you got a car to sell, you can sell your used car, buy a new one, maybe you can get a better deal. But let's say that you got 30 grand that you're going to put down, and that's cash. Right? You got 30 grand in cash on hand right now. Well, if you put the $30,000 down on the vehicle, you got nothing left. Ugats, nada. Well, nada, my favorite phraseology is nada friggin' thingsky. Okay? Nothing. You have nothing left. Oh, okay, but now I don't have that big a payment. You're right, you don't. And for the next 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever it is, you don't have a payment to deal with. You're right. There you go. Okay. But the $30,000 is the goose that lays the golden egg. Now, if you're going to leave it sit in the bank and let it lose 3, 4, 5% a year, whole different story. Whole different story. I do regular transfers, bank account, brokerage account, bank account, brokerage account, bank account, brokerage account, real estate account, right? For properties and things like that. Business, various investments, right? Leaving it in the bank, you need some cash there. I get that. You need some cash there. But to have all of it there, huge mistake. So if you take that $30,000 and let's say you got a car payment of, I don't know, $500 a month. We'll just pick an easy number, right? So your car payment, $500 a month, okay? But I got that $30,000 in cash. So if we just leave it in the bank, and let's say you have a very generous bank, right? And your bank pays 1% when you get into a CD that pays 1%. That's $300 a year you will be taking in on your money. So you have about a half a car payment for the entire year, leaving it there. Now with cost of living, right? Inflation, all of that being, cost of living being 3.5%, 4.5%, 5.5%, depending on which economist you listen to right now, you're actually losing value in what your money can buy. So what if instead of that, what if instead of trying to just leave it in the bank and doing nothing with it or paying it out, what if you were able to go ahead and you were able to do a strategy that would generate cash flow? And let's start off with, let's start off with 30,000 times, and let's say that you did 1% a month. All right, you generate $300 into your account towards that $500 payment. You'd still keep the 30 grand, which means you still have to pay $200 a month. Now, 1% over the course of a month, if we take what I would call to be the lowest paying cash flow strategy, let's use covered calls, okay? If you use covered calls as your strategy and it pays, and you get a strategy that just gets 1% or a candidate that gets 1% a month, $300, okay. It's not paying at all, but it's better than leaving it in the bank. Doing nothing with it is better than putting it into the car and losing the asset, because at the end of the day, you're going to have that $30,000 left over. But what if we took the same $30,000 and we were able to make 2% instead of 1%? 2% in a month. By the way, how many of you feel 1 for yes, 2 for no? I want to see hundreds of answers come up in this email, in this chat box now. How many of you agree? How many of you agree that 2% in a month with the market is very doable? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Nice. Very nice. Definitely appreciate all the participation. Cool. Well, at 2%, you're now at $600. I think you can figure that out, right? 1%, 300, 2%, 600, 3%, 900, right? We're not trying to get 3%. I just want you to get 2. That's $600 a month, right? What if you had to go ahead and you're sending your child to school, to college? Instead of paying that 30 grand out of your savings, what if you took the 30 grand and you did the exact same thing with it? Put it into a portfolio. And by the way, covered calls will pay you the lowest of the cash flow, the absolute lowest of the cash flow strategies, rate of return wise, percentage wise. On condors, I'm looking at 10%. When I look at diagonals, when I look at naked puts, I've got higher rates of return I look for. For me, on covered calls, I look for 3 to 5%. Personally, I will look at candidates as low as 2% because I know in another year or two, I will be, I'm 57 now. I will be, I hit that 60-year mark. I'll probably lower my risk tolerance and I'll be looking for more of that 2 to 4% instead of 3 to 5. I don't want to have as much time to make it up, although I think I'm going to live to 150. Just in case I don't, right? I want to make sure that, that it's sooner rather than later. I want to make sure there's enough money's left over for retirement, right? You don't have as much time to recover it if you make a mistake, if something happens, and so forth, right? So when you look at the cash flow strategies, and I'm just going to put CC for covered calls, I'm looking for personally 3 to 5% a month. What does that mean? That means 0.75 to 1.25% for a week. So I can get away with finding something that pays me 0.75% on a weekly option right now and not have to look for these huge movers, not have to be chasing it. And by the way, my time investment here is extremely minimal. About an hour a week is what I spend on my covered calls and diagonals. That's it. Is anybody in here trading covered calls, naked puts, diagonals, iron condors? Give me a 3. If you are, give me a 3. All right, Robert, Alan, Barry, Joan, John G said all the time. Sarah, okay, Joan, Gerald, Jonathan. All right, so guys, gals, is 2% a month doable with this particular strategy? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. All ones. Yeah, Alan said 1 on a bad day. That's exactly it. Let's see. Jeff here today. Jeff is not in here today. Jeff's in our mastermind. I've known Jeff for over 10 years now. I've had him talk at our mastermind groups before. Jeff's an amazing covered call trader. Amazing covered call trader. I asked him one day, where do you get your candidates from? He said, Covered Call Explorer and the filter that you built in Omega Charts. He said, that's where I get most of my candidates from, is right there. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, you need to get to a point that this becomes part of your strategy. Doesn't have to be all of it, but it needs to be part of it. To me, this is retirement money. When I was managing my kids' money regularly, this is the strategy that we use. I still manage my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter is kind of on her own with her stuff now. My youngest daughters, I still manage. I had my nephews that I was managing, right? I didn't have time to actively trade Apple and Google and Amazon and all of that for everybody's account, mom's account, dad's account. So what do? I put them more into the covered call side of things. Naked puts, I couldn't do that in dad's account. He would absolutely flip out, have a heart attack if he knew what I was doing in it. So I never did that for him, right? I've done it for mom. I've done it for the kids. I did it for my nephew, right? Over and over and over again. But covered calls is the staple of the strategies that I tend to trade. They will pay the lowest rate of return of the cash flow, but they have the most safety involved. There's the owning of the asset in there. It's not just an expiring asset. There are some things to consider with other trade setups out there, but the potential, the opportunity is really there, guys, right? So you want to take advantage of that. And ironically, my team picks this stuff out a week in advance. So this is your topic next week. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So we know last week, we already know what we're going to be talking about. And they put this topic out here. And today was a big day for me with covered calls, a couple of naked puts as well. So, which they of course have no idea, knowing that, since we actually did this one on Wednesday, they came up with it because Thursday we were closed, Friday was a half a day. So to just get it out of the way, they came up with the topic on Wednesday for this of stock market money machine. And it can be, just don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. Keep the asset and work the asset instead of giving up on the asset. All right. Awesome. Ooh, looks like we got a late blooming group here today because we did not have anywhere near this many people in there. Jonathan, I see you got your hand up. Did you have a particular question or was that just, hey, John R., how you doing, my friend? Try to put it in chat if you would instead of Q&A. I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Trader Will said, working on the SPX alert that Brandon sent out. Let's see. I see 2 alerts here. Nice. So let me ask you a question, guys. Brandon talks about his demand zones. Right? He's got some training videos he's put together for this SPX trade that he does, which is a 0-day trade, an expiration trade. In other words, he's doing it today for today. He doesn't do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's looking, and he gives you the two, the demand zone, and he's looking at a bull put spread, gives you the two strikes. It's $5 increment. You're looking at between 30 and 40 cents to pick up on that trade. And you've got a 70% probability of profit. Are you okay with 70% probability of profit on your trade? And this is everyone that he sends out is like this. And he'll tell you, the probability of profit is a little bit low on this one. You may want to be cautious on this. You may want to wait for a better premium or something like that. Right? Yep. There we go. All the ones. Yeah. Here's Trader Will. You ready? Trader Will's been in from the start. Everyone, not person, everyone he has sent out has made money. Everyone. We get the email at the end of the day that goes, here we go. Great trading day. They were all profitable, right? At least I've made money. There you go, Will. And that's a valid point. Because can you manage it differently than the way Brandon tells you to? Yes. Can you get scared and say, no, I'm pulling out now. I'm not waiting. Absolutely. Following the rules, Brandon tracks them all. Following the rules, he's had a great success with them. And we're only doing it now just over 2 weeks is how long Brandon's doing them here live for you guys and gals. But he's been doing them for years. This is a regular trade for him. So it's the greatest thing, guys. He's not creating something to have a product to sell. He's taking something that he's using for himself and saying, I already do this. I know how it works. Let me offer it to you guys and gals as well. Right? All right. Perfect. Let me take that down. I don't need to save that. Let's take that down. We know what a calculator looks like. Let's go ahead and those of you watching on YouTube or something just freaked out when you saw that screen. You're like, what is that? What am I looking for here? There we go. S&P 500, SPX. All right, let me go ahead and shift this over to all. Symbolics. Okay. So on the S&P 500. So on Friday, we took this gap down, gap and go. We just crushed, right? I was not watching it. I wish I was, because I would have looked to trade that bearish move, especially once we moved down into neutral bias. And that was on the gap down. The opening price, we were already in a neutral bias on the market. And we just fell apart. We went right to that 100-point level. We stretched a little bit further, couldn't get it any further than that, and kind of closed up a little bit higher than we did. So we were down 106, I think it was. Let's see. Yeah, 106, almost 107 on Friday, right? Today, we're up 63 points, 62 in jingle. All right, 62 in jingle right now. So did the S&P give us an opportunity today at the 46.2680? Let's go look at the S&P 500. Actually, let's do this first. $461.42. Excuse me. That was today's low. Okay, it was right there. I mean, today's fib line on SPY. So let's go first look at SPX. What were we looking at for SPX? I forgot. Okay. So intraday, we made that move down. Absolutely, PK, definitely is. Definitely is. But I'm looking at the S. So PK is talking about the percentage of the distance the 21 moving averages away from the 236, the hesitation line. And I'm not per se trading SPX, but when I go and I look at SPY, okay, I have an opportunity off of that 461 up to 464. So I've got some room in there. And if I'm going to manage it, I can tighten it up. The way we would trade it in pop, PK, you're absolutely right. We would not do this trade whatsoever because of where the moving average is. But if I'm willing to manage this trade, because many of the people in pop are not able to sit there, they set it up and walk away. And it's hard to manage around that 21 if you can't be watching it. So you want to see how it hesitates. You want to look at the ones variation from the 5 on how the candle is moving and such, right? So we got a great bounce. Well, we got to move down to it. Did we get the bounce or not? I don't know. So let's go look. Let's full screen this first. Let's go to SPY. 461.42. Guess why that's already on my chart? All right there. Now, we didn't quite get down to it. We got to a low of 461.73. So about 30 cents away. Guys, so if you have a support on a $400+ stock and you miss it by 30 cents, would you consider that it hit that line, that it was close enough? Give me a 1 for yes. Would you say, yep, it's close enough? Okay, good. Not everybody, but that's okay. You don't have to. See, and that's the greatest thing about it, right? Is we all get to trade the way that we think, works best for us. We don't have to trade the way everybody else does. So absolutely. So pull down, bounce. Maybe you didn't take this trade. Maybe you did, right? But an opportunity did present itself, particularly that we had gapped up and we pulled back and bounced. We had that off of the 21. Was a confluence there. Could you have waited until it got back above the 8, move up, retest and bounce? Absolutely. Sure, you could have. Right there. Right. So we're sitting at 466 right now. Right. It got above the 8 and bounced right about 462.5. So you're talking about $3.50. Overall, very nice move. Brenda said, waiting on a possible gap fill on the Qs. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be today, Brenda. I was going to buy more Qs long-term today, and I did not. I just wanted to wait on that one before entering it with this new COVID news. And I'm sorry I waited. Definitely sorry I waited. That'd be a couple dollars a share already I was looking to take advantage of. So, all right. So we look at S&P 500. We're back to the SPX again. Right. We got a great bounce in there. Good move. It puts us into we're still in a neutral bias because we closed neutral. We have to get above the 8, but we're not that far away. But if you remember, 22nd was Monday last week. And I talked about this breaking through and fail. And we expected that hard push. And we're looking at the rollover, whatever it was, call it COVID, call it whatever you want. The market's looking for a reason, an excuse to say, all right, it's time we have to correct a little bit and go down. Now, once again, not what I was looking for correction, for pullback. I would have liked a lot more, but I've told you and I've said it before, I'm going to take advantage of every pullback on my long positions that I possibly can. Everyone, everything that I can trade, that I could consider, I'm going to add to. If I see a pullback and a bounce take place, I'm going to look to add to it. Sarah said, I tried to get fancy and sell puts to pick up more Qs. Good news. Good news is I get to keep the premium. Bad news is I'm not going to be in the money unless the market pulls back again. Okay. I got it, Sarah. I've done it over and over again. Same thing. Jim said, percent-wise on SPY, you missed the line by point. Oh, my God. 0.000, I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 0.00064,935. It's more than close enough. It's close enough for government work, right? Actually, government work can be way off and it's okay. Let's see. All right. Yeah, there you go, Jim. But I appreciate the math. Jim is on it, PK. You got it. Jim's on it. Exactly. Exactly. So, guys, I mean, this is it, right? I mean, we had a great start to the day today. When you look from a candidate selection, I mean, you look at Amazon as an example, right? As an example, right? Up $86.50 right now. Okay. So here, let's do it this way. Amazon. Okay. 35.54. Let me write it down. 35.54 is the fib line, right? Friday's closing moving average was 35.6348. 35.6348, right? And that's the 8 moving average. Let me bring this current. $35.54 right there. We already got that fib line in place. Let's go change this to 35.6348. 35.63.48. Okay, I made it pink because it's 8 moving average. So now, let's see. We gapped up, we bumped our head on the 35.54. We got close again, 2 more sideways bars, boom, big push up through. We came back and retested on that 8 moving average and bounced. That right there was an opportunity on Amazon when it was at 35.67, let's call it, for a long on Amazon. So now, let's see. Okay, good. It did open it up. So 35.67. Let's go find a call option. So let's go to about the 35.30 option. Okay. Plenty of volume today too. Let's see. So I'm trying to get the data for the option itself today. So this is the 35.30, right? Let's go back to Amazon one more time. What I didn't look at was the time frame. So that was at 10:10 this morning. All right, so let's go find 10:10. 5, 10:10. Okay, so we bounced, I don't know, let's call it $74. We'll kind of split, yeah, we'll call it $74, right? So $74 was the cost to get in. $7,400 to do one contract. I understand it might be expensive, but bear with me, all right? $7,400 right now, it's trading at 83. So 74 to 83, it's a $9 move so far on Amazon. Right? If you did one contract, you needed $7 grand, $7,400. But you're up almost $1,000 on that trade. So 1/7, what's that? 12 or 13% for the day. And by the time you get to Friday, you'll have this option is $40, $50 to buy, meaning if you did this trade on a Friday. It just happens to be Monday is the most expensive day, right? So there's been great opportunities across the board, but what are we looking for? We're looking at, what can we do to find some form of bounce that happened? And on Amazon, it's exactly what transpired. We got a bounce. We broke out and closed. We opened up, we retested, and we bounced. And it's just been this very nice rolling bullish type pattern the entire day so far on this setup, right? So lots of opportunities out there today, right? Cash flow opportunities, directional opportunities. Jonathan said, I got into one Amazon earlier and put on a debit spread. How did you do on it, Jonathan? Jim said, what is the 236 line considered? Hesitation? Yeah, so it is definitely a hesitation. It's a 236 period, regardless of the position, is a hesitation line, right? So we see stocks tend to pull back there. Doesn't mean it's going to bounce, but it tends to slow down there, hesitate at that level. And that's what I'm looking for, right? And then I can make a decision from that. I don't have to be rushed in. It's pulling back and we're looking for a bounce right away. It pulls back, thinks about it a day or two, a candle or two, depending on what time frame you're looking at, and goes from there. So Jonathan said on that Amazon debit spread, he's up over $1,000, over 1K now. Great job, Jonathan. Great job. Excuse me. PK said once it broke the 35.63.48 line, Chicken Me would have considered getting out. Now that doesn't fit any of the pop rules though, right, PK? Our exit is going to be somewhere down below that fib line, the 35.54. I understand it's a large dollar amount when you look at the dollars, but it's a $3,500 stock, so you can't give it a $3 wiggle room, right? I mean, I know you understand it. Doesn't mean it makes you feel any more comfortable with looking at that candidate going, ooh, you know, if it goes against me, how much is it going to cost me? It's a big part. And not everybody should trade Amazon at all. I think you should aspire to trade Amazon. So when we do the trades, Karen, right, we're looking at a stop coming in somewhere down below that 35.54 level, right? We're going to split this out, and 25% below is where we're focused on as far as the stop. The nice thing is all of the Amazon below that fib line was before we entered the trade. Nothing got anywhere near that line. We had that one candle push down, the next one climbed right back, and we would have been literally here. Probably here is where we would have been out. But we didn't get that far down. All of this happened before we entered the trade, that price point. Jonathan said the pill that's the toughest to swallow is my stop on Amazon at 20 points. I know. 10 points, $7, right? 20 points, $7. It adds up. It adds up. But you're getting the moves you're getting have to weigh into the risk you're willing to take. Okay, what symbols you want me to take a look at? Drop them in, folks. It is that time. Drop them in, drop them in, drop them in. QQQ. Brenda. So, Brenda, we're right up at that 400 level now. 399.86. We're right there. We're above the moving average. We're in a true bullish bias. We're back. But I need to get above that 401 level first. So close above, retest, and bounce. 408 is our resistance at this point. Come on, guys. What symbols you want to look at? Drop the symbols in. Amazon is not hard to trade. All you have to do is make sure you got enough scotch in your bar. There you go, Roman. And Roman's an expert Amazon trader, guys. So Alan's asking for Facebook. Brenda, you're quite welcome. All right, so Facebook. Moving averages are kind of messed up. They're not in the right order. The 55 is still up too high. Our bottoms are coming up. Our tops held consistent on the last two attempts there. Could consider it from here being higher, but it really wasn't there. So it's got to get above that 8 moving average on a close. And then 345.26 is resistance. But I'm not excited about Facebook right now. How to get my tracking sheet. So, Facebook, we had it down as a day trade. Well, heck, everything was a day trade. But it was bearish with a day trade. It's moved back into what would be more of a neutral bias right now. Yeah, 345.26 is my upside. If we break the 337, we'll be looking at 331 for my downside target. So I hope that helps, Alan. Video, Jones said, BITO. And I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's kind of like Chipotle, right? I'm in on BITO today. right? I bought it this morning before my, I had a meeting at 10 o'clock this morning. I was in the trade before 10 o'clock this morning. We're near the highs of the day right now. Guys, I just like it long term. It's not a symbol I plan to sell. I do write some covered calls against it. Premiums have definitely come down from where they were, but I like it a lot. Okay. There's not enough technical on it, but the technical to me is based on where I think Bitcoin is going and based on what I see with Bitcoin potentially. And it's not just Bitcoin. I stepped in and bought some more Ethereum today. So I bought BITO. I bought Ethereum coin today as well. So, and I just use Robinhood. May not be the best. It's certainly the easiest. No cost like Coinbase does, which I mean, I know I'm not going to get the best price, but Coinbase fees were killing me when I was trading on them. So I like BITO a lot, a whole lot. There's just not a lot of history to it yet. And that gap up is why, because Bitcoin moved today. That's all it is. So it's long-term hold for me. Hope that helps, Joan. Netflix, which is Roman. Roman, I had this one loaded on my calendar this morning on my docket. I was like, yes, man, I am all over this. We're going to get a bounce today. And they came back and said, recovery stock that's not recovering anymore, right? Zoom, Netflix. I forgot who else they threw in the same basket. It wasn't the airlines. It might have been some of the LVS, Las Vegas Sands, and the Wynn, and some of those guys. But I was expecting a bounce on it, Roman. I need it above the 8. If it gets some recovery this afternoon, great. But I haven't seen anything that's been exciting about it today for me to want to take it. I trade Netflix almost every day. We got the move up, never really got the retest, right? Then we broke, and then we retested there, noon, right? So nothing. Look after 230, right? And I think that's it, 661.97. 661.97. Look at 230, after 230 sometime. And we're looking for the bounce with 691 as resistance. Gene's asking for Micron, MU. Interesting. Joan said, BITO, I think I will sell a naked put later this afternoon. You selling it for this week, Joan? Yep. Okay, good. Good. Maybe we'll take a look at that trade in a little bit. So Micron, I love what it did. Gene, I love that it pulled back to the 84.21. Let me write the number down. 84.21. Cross off those other numbers so I don't mess them up. Let's go to MU. Let's snap a line. Let's double click on it. You could try to drag it around, just not for me. $84.21. Look at the setup, Gene. Look at it. We came down, closed right here. We stretched down on the next candle. The line is at 84.21. Our low is 84.22. We missed by a penny. So as we're sitting right here in this big candle right there, I'll go at the bottom of it, right? This is kind of me, position number 1 of the chair. We go to the next candle, position number 1. We get here, it's position number 2. We get to the first green candle and hitting off of that line, and it's position 3. Lean forward, getting ready to place the trade. So all of that to say 86.62, Gene, is the entry. If you're not in the trade, look for a wick pulling back a little bit sometime this afternoon. But I do like it a lot. Apple. Interesting comment came out about Apple today. Analysts saying that they do not believe that the supply chain shortage is really going to affect them that much. They think they're going to be okay. So should not affect us, was the bottom line. I don't know how they come out and say that, but I mean, Apple has done great. Last week they hit all-time highs again. The pullback, just like everybody else on Friday, but they're back above that 160 level again now. So you're looking at 166.61 as resistance. So retest the 160 and the bounce, and you're looking at 166.5 as resistance. John, I hope that helps. Jim's asking for CSX. We probably need to draw a fib on here, Jim. Okay. That makes more sense. We keep bumping our head on that 0 line. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. We're pushing back. I'd look for the breakout of 36.45, but caution tells me, Jim, that you want to make sure. What did I do? Negative 136. We want to make sure we get some movement up towards that first, because breakouts that don't get enough movement and you try to take them usually have a failure component to them. So I really want to see it move close to this first retest and then bounce. Ideally, I'd love to see just blow out of here and get up to 36.5 and then fail. Come back to 36.45 and bounce, and we take the trade from there. Let's see. Alan said, so I hope that helps, Jim. Alan said, stopped out on a put. That's okay. Nvidia and moving average trades netting out well today. Great. Speaking of Nvidia, Kevin's asking for Nvidia. Kevin, did we look at this morning in YouTube? Good, Jim. Glad it helped. No? Okay. So, great setup. 323.10. 323.10. We go back and look at Nvidia intraday. 323.10. We pushed up. We failed. Came back. We had wicks stretching around in there. Pushed up, retested and bounced. Right there would be the entry. So about 324.5 or so, 324. And right now we're at 329. So it's been a great move, right? So what I'd be looking for, if you're not already in, is the pullback to that towards that 323. But 340 is your resistance level right now. So which is only 17 points away. And we move about 15 a day. All right. So I hope that helps. John's asking for RIVN. Woo! Holy mackerel. Yeah, this is the one that's in partnership with Ford and Amazon and so forth. They bounce off their lows. This is very much newsy play on RIVN. John, I don't know what to say about it because I don't really trade it. It's just off of the news I hear on about Ford with them and so forth. But you get a little bit of a bounce. Is this sympathy just because of everybody else? I mean, we literally have a Fibonacci 1, 2, 3, 4 days after it started, we could draw a fib. And 1, 2, 3, 4 days after that, the fib is already violated. So, woo, whipsaw. I would look for this gap in here. So 146 would be my my resistance to fill that gap. Everything else has got a closed gap. That's the only opening I see, at least from here till then, right? What is my target for video? My target on video, Brenda, is based on Bitcoin, not based on video. I don't know the relationship number. I probably need to find that out. Like I know the SPY is 10% of the SPX, right? I don't know the relationship number, but video is going to react based on what Bitcoin does. So I'm going to use Bitcoin as the reasoning for the entry and or the exit of the position. But remember, this is one man's opinion. This is me. That doesn't mean it's the right risk profile for any of you to consider trading. Jonathan said, would you buy options on Robinhood? I would not. I've not heard good things about it with their options. I don't have any other experience with it except what I've heard. And that's maybe because I'm so biased to trading on some of the other platforms that may have something to do with it. But that coupled along with others telling me that they've had problems with their options, no, I don't plan to do it. So let's see, where are we? Let's go to BITO. So BITO, here's this week. Probably can get away with not looking at all strikes. Let's see. If I were going to sell a put on this today, I'd be looking at, what's it? Yeah. If I was going to sell a naked put on it, I'd be looking at about a 20 delta. So I'd be looking about that 35, which is paying about 25 cents. Remember, remember this point, and I had talked about this morning on YouTube. Make sure you guys get to our show every morning, guys. 8:30 to 9 right now is when we're doing it, market mornings. Go to Wealth Builders YouTube channel, and you'll find it on there. But 20 delta puts me at about 25 cents right now, about the 35s. I'm glad you like the new time, PK. We had a smaller show today than normal, and we're thinking because we shifted time, but I'm not worried about it. But yeah, Apple could be flying parts in, Robert said, instead of putting them on a ship. Very possible, Robert. Robert asked for KR. Right, which is Kroger. So they've got earnings coming out, Robert, right? You got a short-term resistance here at about 43.5. So I can't really do much with the earnings coming out, but I'd look for the breakout of the 43.5 and then probably target about 47 as my first go-to. All right, Jim, hope that helped, Robert. Jim asked for Groupon. All right, so this is one of those, it didn't break down far enough and failed, right? So we had this breakout take place in here, and it failed, went back up. Wick came down, it went up. Wick down, went back up. Small breakout, went back up, right? Moving averages are now in the right order in the last couple of days. They've been kind of flattish along the way here, but they're in the right order. So I get a fail. I get a move down about to 20 bucks or so, 20 and a quarter maybe, and then come back, retest 22.5 and fail, and that would be looking at 17.31 as my target. All right, Sarah, fantastic. PK said the later time didn't give you enough time to mull over the candidates. Yeah, no, absolutely. PK had said I liked it at this new time. Yeah, no, me too. I mean, Sean and I talked about it a little bit today after the show was done, and definitely agreed it was a good time for us to do the show, right? So we're looking to keep it, maintain it at that time, at least for now. We'll keep it going there, but I have done nothing but videos today. I did the YouTube video first thing this morning, YouTube show first thing this morning, which is now a video. I did two other videos for social media today. I did our power option playback video. If you haven't seen that, guys, it shows you all the trades we did for the week and the reasons why. And here we are on this training now. So it's been a video recording type day for me for sure. So let's see. Thank you, PK. I appreciate that. I like the new time. Jim Shed, love the new time. Excellent. All right. Well, folks, here's what we're going to do. They already dropped it back in, guys. So a link just got dropped in right now for covered calls uncovered. Go ahead and get yourself registered for that training. I can see that since we've been here, it looks like 49 people have registered is what it looks like. Because I get a thing that shows Zoom registrations, and it shows me how many. So there you have it, right? I hope it was good. I hope you enjoyed the training, everybody. With that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, and I'll see you all at our next update. All right, bye for now.